most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed, laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, trackside. Once again, race fans, beautiful southern night here at Darlington Raceway. Gonna narrow the field down tonight. 12 championship drivers. We're gonna move on with 8, 4 in the hot seat, 7 with an opportunity to fall out of the chance to run for the season 20 championship crown. How you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, the PremierRacingSetup.com qualifying session just about to close, and it looks like that 18 machine of Trent Potter gonna work the wheel around the lady in black here at Darlington Raceway and snatch away a playoff pole position. Speaking of those playoffs, we're going to get into a little bit of those point standings throughout the rest of tonight's race. When we've got an opportunity to throw it up there for you, we will. Do we got time right now? Can we toss it up? All right, we're going to go ahead and toss it up right now, actually. Let's get you a little bit of insight on the drivers trying to work their way in, the drivers safe, and the drivers that are trying to figure things out here tonight. Only James Skelton up there leading those championship points. Safe and secure to move on to round number 2. Skelton walking away with the race win last week at Iowa. How about last week's pole sitter, Chris Hammett, right there tied, bubble position, barely hanging on to a championship position. They're gonna have to hope that Darlington treats them well. A lot of drivers looking for some good runs here tonight, and we're just a handful of moments away. It looks like we've only got about 2 to 3 drivers left to work their way through pre-race inspection. So what do you say we go ahead, transition a little closer to track, get you up close and center with your pole sitter here tonight. There you can see him behind that Chevy Silverado pace truck as it gets ready to ride. We're ready to roll here tonight in the Visit South Carolina 100. 100 laps. Long way to go tonight for these drivers. Let's drop your starting lineup as drivers work their way out of one, snatching away that PremierRacingSetup.com Pole Award behind the wheel of that 18 machine. On the inside of row number 1, it's Trent Potter. Mad Max Terriot just to his outside, familiar face in that 42, Zach Mitchell, Chris Hammett in row 2 with Skelton and Combs in row number 3. Jeffrey Souza and Eric Stout back in row number 4 here tonight, topping out row number 5 in your top 10. Adam Madsen, Ethan Troutman, Bill Benedict and Sean Single in row number 6. Row number 7 tonight looks like Luke Allen and Joshua Buckley. McMillan, Wells, Fiedler, Higgins, Strano. Higgins finish out the 21 truck field here tonight. Pace car in. Field works their way off of 4 for the first time, coming to the restart line, and green flag flies. Couple of drivers hung out to the high side as they work their way through 1 and 2 for the first time here tonight. It looks like we're going to get single file pretty quickly here at the front. Potter, Terriot, Mitchell, Hammond, and Skelton off of 4. Little bit of a wiggle. I believe that's going to be Jeffrey Souza just back in front of Adam Matz right outside of your top 10. Everybody single file as can be expected early here at Darlington. Long night of racing, long night to keep it out of that outside wall. We'll see which one of those championship drivers can keep their hopes alive. Sean Single, biggest mover so far here through the opening 2 laps. That familiar Cartoon Network scheme. You know, it doesn't matter week in, week out. It doesn't matter what car, what machine, what truck. I bet you he's got a Cartoon Network Indy car. Always sporting that Cartoon Network. Trent Potter remains at the front of this field. The United Launch Alliance Beyond Gravity, number 18 sponsored machine, pole sitter, has led all 3 laps so far here tonight. Unable to shake the field. Top 3 breakaway just a little bit from Chris Hammett. Lap number 5 on the board. We're going to drop our Christmas tree over there to the left-hand side of your screen. That's right, a Christmas tree here over the next handful of weeks. Going to try to make it a little bit easier. Some of the fans, as we see a battle for the race lead, dropping to the inside 42. It'll roll the center of the corner. Look for a slide job here. Do we got an not gonna do it. He was gonna try to get him with the crossover. The 18 gonna slot in line and just hold serve. For the moment, Zach Mitchell closes in that rich DPC number 8 machine, but Mad Max Terriot gonna take the front. New race leader here from Darlington. With a new race leader here at Darlington, let's get into some of those colors you see on your timing and scoring tower. In green, lit up, driver, only driver, safe, secure, working his way into round number 2. James Skelton has got the easy road in. He is into round number 2. Drivers highlighted in that gold, yellow. Drivers that are somewhat safe, but not really. You can't sit on your heels and think you're going to have the opportunity to make it to round number 2. 4 drivers highlighted in that red are drivers on the outside of that bubble, outside that championship line, and need a good finish, if not a win, to move on into round number 2. So that's the breakdown for it. Already one driver inside of that top 8 came into tonight's race sitting 3rd in the overall championship standings, just 15 points ahead of that bubble line. And he is not in the field here tonight. Justin Gann may miss out on tonight, and he may miss out the chance for the season 20 crown. We're going to see how the points fall, where they lay at the end of tonight's race. But for the moment, Max Terriot leads the field back into the corner once again. But you can see Terriot back into, I believe that's going to be, and I always get mixed up where I'm at here in Darlington. I believe they're going to be making their way now off of turn 4. Yes, they are. Turn 4 back across the stripe. 10 laps in, 90 to go. Max Terriot, new race leader. Top 3 breaking away. Chris Hammond sits in 4th with James Skelton in 5th. Our good buddy Ryan O'Donnell checking in out there in the chat. Good to see you checking in with us. Can't believe we don't have that Turbo Dorks Racing Graphics machine out there on the track this week. I thought there was a little dullness out there on the track. Ryan, you always got one of the brightest paint schemes out there. Very easy to spot. Can't miss him when he's on track. Not on track here tonight, but joining us from the Great Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. One maybe Gatlinburg-ish. Let's see, if you're in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, then you gotta be somewhere around that Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, maybe the Bristol-ish area, somewhere right in that little run there. Because once you get past University of Tennessee, it's not quite the mountains. If you know, you know. If you don't, you just heard me describe pretty much eastern Tennessee. Until you get to, like, Chattanooga, Nashville, then Memphis. Like, the other stuff on the west side don't matter. No, never mind. I'm going to stop that. Not even a Vols fan, but I would have just made our good buddy Racing Jason, who is a diehard Tennessee Volunteer. He would have just had a beautiful smile on his face if he got to hear that one. So I'm sure somebody's going to clip that up and send it to him. But nonetheless, we work off of 4 back across the stripe. Lap number 15 going to go on the board. Max Terriot leading. Trent Potter, Zach Mitchell, Chris Hammett, James Skelton back in 5th. Moving up 5 spots, still that biggest mover man on a mission right now. He's got some horsepower, not foot power here tonight in that Flintstones machine down the backstretch, back into turn Number 3, Sean Single, up 5 positions from where he qualified, moving him into 7th. John McMillan Jr., another driver on the move. There you can see that number 3. I believe it may be the 15 on the side of that thing. Maybe we got it worked out. No, it's the 75 listed as the 15. John, we can never seem to get these numbers right with you. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll figure it out at some point. No stranger to this, John. One of those drivers I've had the privilege to know and watch. I won't say evolve, because ever since I've known the guy, he's been an amazing talent, an amazing driver. So not uncommon to see him work his way from the back to the front. Now up 5 positions, move McMillan Jr. into the 11th. Championship driver struggling here tonight. A little contact with the outside. Oh my, Tony Strana. Cake. I know there's a Waffle House up the road, and Buckley having some problems too, man. That is definitely not going to help the championship hopes. Joshua Buckley down 4 positions from where he qualified on the outside, looking in, sitting in 18th. Buckley's definitely going to need some help. Logan Fiedler right here, rookie. He made the cut, but he's got to make another one. Sitting in 14th for the moment, up 4 positions from where he qualified. Good race so far. Just able to get around that 90 of Bill Benedict, man. That was close. But they're one of those drivers that has just been pretty consistent showing up at the tracks here in season number 20. It's just been able to have good finishes. Finishing where he should. That's a big thing in racing. If you can finish where you should, maybe a little bit ahead of that, things are good. But you never want to have those nights where you have a top 3 machine and you end up 12th. Those are the nights you try to avoid. And so far, the rookie's been able to do that. He's found a way to work himself into the championship chase here in season number 20. We'll see if it all stops here tonight. The track too tough to tame. Darlington Raceway. Logan Fiedler sits in 14th. Championship heavyweight bout going on right here. You can see just off in the foreground, Jeffrey Souza at number 4, Ford Machine. But he's got Ethan Troutman, Tim Combs, Adam Matz, all right here running with each other. Both Troutman and Combs outside looking in. They need good finishes for the moment. Things looking up for both of those drivers. Just about a quarter of the way through tonight's race, and it looks like green flag pit stops may have opened up. The 49 of Ken Allen get ahead to pit road. Kineletics number 49, Ford F-150, the first to pit lane. Tight battle here as Souza tries to work away around that 11 of Sean Single. It does look like that Souza Media that analyzer number 4 machine is a little bit quicker than Shanika, but you know, sometimes when you're in oh my gosh, big save. Holy, how did either of those drivers keep that going? Now we're gonna go side by side. Not something you want to do very long here at Darlington Raceway. Exit of 4 gonna tighten up just a little bit. But man, what a save and what a move by both that 42 and the 62. Both Souza and Troutman all but wrecked right there. Amazing job by both of those drivers. Going to keep themselves in the mix, keep themselves heading in the right direction as we continue this long green flag run to open things up here tonight. You're watching the Visit South Carolina 100. So Ryan, if you're out there listening, if you're out there watching, where you at, bud? Come on, I pretty much called out everywhere you gotta be. Give me a little heads up. Whatever you do, do not tell me Dollywood. Don't say it, brother. And indeed, green flag pit stops have opened up. We've got 4 drivers to pit road. Zach Mitchell going to give up a spot inside of the top 5. Logan Feater to pit road. Joshua Buckley, Jason Wells, and Tony Strato, your latest drivers on the pit road. Ken Allen, Bob Higgins, early exits from the track and early exits from the race. Both drivers going to be scored out of tonight's race, headed back behind the wall. Allen and Higgins will round out 20 and 21st. Gap starting to open up as pit road has opened up. Tim Combs, now Jeffrey Souza to pit road. Front of the field starting to look a little different. Max Terriot heads to pit road. Trent Potter stays out, reassumes that race lead. There you can see that Flowertown Animal Hospital number 86 machine of James Skelton. Safe, secure, can he steal a win? A lot of drivers to pit road this last time by. A lot of drivers. Only your top 6 going to stay out on the racetrack. It looks like early exit to pit road, playing it safe, was James Skelton. 18 of Trent Potter going to heat it up just a little bit. Nice little run by those drivers racing onto pit lane. Take a look now as Ethan Troutman makes his way off of turn number 4. Back across the stripe, new race leader here at Darlington. Ethan Troutman to your race lead. Adam Matson, Bill Benedict going to stay out on the racetrack as well. Top 3 remain on the racetrack. Benedict gonna run it even longer. That Lego Technics number 90 machine gonna stay out on the racetrack, cross the line, become our latest race leader here at Darlington. Just 4 race leaders here tonight. 30 laps in. Looking here tonight at Darlington. Man, these guys are laying it down. You better not have no problems. Oh man. Okay. I thought it said plan on hitting Bollywood, Brian. I was like, oh come on, man. Aquarium, can't fault you. Can't fault you there. Good times, good days on and off track. Ryan, have a great vacation? I'm not sure. In the mountains, beautiful country up there. I'm not very far away myself, so I know firsthand, but enjoy yourself, brother. I hope to see you back on the track next week or in the coming week. Zach and Mitchell with a great pit road run. Great strategy, great stomp by the pit crew that has afforded him a 1.4 second advantage over Max Terriot. 2-lap pressure tires for Terriot. Will it make a difference? We'll have to wait to find out until around lap number 50 or so. That's when we should see pit road open up, or the fuel window open back up for these drivers. Does look like it's going to be a 3-stop race for the majority of this field. Gonna be really close to a 2-stopper for possibly a Troutman, maybe Bill Benedict, may be able to stretch this thing out to just a 2-stop race, but it's gonna be very, very close on fuel. So 1 green flag pit stop behind us, and Zach Mitchell emerges as your race leader. And I'm not trying to jinx any driver, but I want to go back here. I want to go take a look at this driver right here. your premier racing setup.com pole award winner here tonight. 18 of Trent Potter, one of the quick drivers so far this season. Potter with 3 race wins coming into the playoffs. 7 top 10 appearances, 5 top 5s. A great run and a great season here. But something about that pole position just has not fared well lately for these drivers that have been able to walk away with the pole positions. Think back to last week with this driver right here, when Chris Hammond sat on the pole, finished outside of your top 7. For the moment, Trent Potter qualifying on the pole. He is back in 5th. Long night still ahead of us. A lot can go on, but just saying, seems a little questionable. Long stay on pit road for the 13th of Joshua Buckley. Tough run here tonight under the lights at the track. Too tough to tame. Darlington Raceway in the Visit, South Carolina 100. Joshua Buckley's championship run here in season 20 will come to an end. Sean Single, long stop for Single. Speeding on pit road. That is never good. Only driver to be pumped by the pit road police and Single. You can see him over there listed on the left-hand side of your screen. Is off of the lead lap. After running well and inside of the top 5, that is just how quickly your race can change, how quickly the points can flip. And Single now finds himself listed as the only driver 1 lap down. Fortunately, I can talk, I promise. Fortunately enough for him, he is the only driver still running off of the lead lap, so should we have trouble, he would be the lucky dog. So we'll see if we have any issues so far here. Lap number 39 going to go on the board as Max Terriot continues to try to chase down Zach Mitchell. Gaps back through drivers, 3rd, 4th, 5th tonight here from Darlington Raceway. Tim Combs sitting in that 6th spot. Looking for some battles out there. Let's go back here. Let's go to a battle just outside of your top 10. The PRC, Grayson Jade Photography. Number 9, Machine of Adam Matz. Adam, one of the drivers that was, if I'm not mistaken, fairly safe tonight. Fairly safe. Came into tonight's race sitting right around, I want to say 4th, or tied for 4th. The championship standing, so a good little buffer zone to that cutoff line for him. For the moment, sitting in 14th, not necessarily where he wants to be, but right there with drivers that could possibly or potentially knock him out of that championship 8. For the moment, safe and secure, riding along with him. Adam Matt sits in 14th. Luke Allen with pressure from the 62 of Ethan Troutman. Troutman on a mission he has got to get back to the front. Big gap up to the rookie, the 27 of Logan Fiedler, sitting right here in 11th. Eric Stout, 1 second advantage. Rounding out your top 10. What a run here tonight for Stout as well. Jason Wells with a little bit of trouble. He's going to pull to the side, allow Eric Stout to continue heading right around. Now trying to reel in John McMillan Jr. for that 8th position. Let's get back to the front. We got a battle for the race lead. Let's head back up here as they work their way off of turn number 2 down the backstretch and into 3. Mitchell able to keep Terrion behind him for the moment. How long will he be able to keep him out of that top position? Terrion, one of those very, very quick drivers. You got to worry about him week in, week out. Lap traffic just out in front of your race leaders as we work our way off of 2 back down the backstretch. Once again, Terrion closes in, not going to make the move just yet. Gonna kick it to the high side, just get a little bit of air on the right side of that nose. Gonna stay in line for the moment as our race leader continues to try to figure out a way to keep that man right there behind him. That's not what you want. Darlington stripe number 1 here tonight as we jumped on board. Looking back from that Rich TPC Fan Attack Storms, sponsored Ford F-150. It better be built Ford tough. That's all I'm saying. You hit the wall too many more times like that, and you're going to need more than a wrench. You're going to need a whole body kit. Look, I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad at me. You can hear really working that throttle coming off of that corner exit, coming off the 2 track, kind of tightens up a little bit as you crest over that little bit of a hill. And you can hear him really working that throttle. Amazing run, an amazing ride, and interesting enough, we haven't seen anybody really running that Larson line, that extreme high line that we are so accustomed to. It's starting to creep up there in 1 and 2, but not quite laying on that wall just yet. We'd see both of these drivers going to look for the bottom in 3 and 4, just around the corner from the halfway point here tonight. We've been clean and green all night long here. A handful of drivers with some issues, handful of drivers with some problems. Championship hopefuls not in the field. There's going to be a lot to unpack at the end of this one, but nonetheless, we continue to pound the pavement here. From Darlington Raceway, you're watching the Visit South Carolina 100, brought to you by Checkered Flag Auto Supply and Red Light Racing. Little squeeze touch of the outside wall. There goes the brake, the run to pit road. Zach Mitchell able to keep Terrion behind him for that entire stint. That is going to be big. That is going to be a thing we're going to revisit. We're going to see if Terrion comes to pit road a lap sooner to try to negate some of that undercut that Mitchell's looking to benefit from. Jeffrey Souza, McMillan Jr., Adam Matz, Bill Benedict, as well as Jason Wells to pit lane. These guys getting the job done here tonight, man. They did not come to play. And what do you do here if you are a driver on the outside of the top 5 looking in? You see that, how that undercut panned out, how it worked out for Potter that last time around. And there he goes, sticking true to the original strategy. Terrion going to peel from the track and head down pit road. Looks like he got there without any issues. And oh no, Trent Potter back onto pit lane. Chris Hammett, for the first time here tonight, is going to put that Hamburger Lounge good number 6 at the front of the field. It's going to be short-lived. He's going to head to pit road this time around. What does Troutman do? The 62 of Ethan Troutman right here working his way through 3 and 4, and he's going to stay out on the racetrack. He's going to assume the race lead. Logan Fiedler to pit road. Zach Mitchell able to stay out in front of Max Terriot again, but that gap definitely tighter this time around. Tighter for the moment. Whew. Opening it up just a little bit here, jumping right behind James Skelton. And Troutman going to stay out on the racetrack. Rob Higgins going to take over second with Zach Mitchell now into third. Key for Mitchell right here. He is on the lead lap. He has not lost a lap during this green flag pit cycle. Very, very crucial. James Skelton able to leapfrog Max Terriot. So a great execution of strategy for James Skelton as well, who closed in the distance on Mitchell. So looking for a 2-for-1 off of the pit strategy is last week's race winner, James Skelton, man. Catching a little streak here, getting a little run going. Higgins' long run on the fuel tank this time around. Stays out on the racetrack, up 16 positions for the moment, but still's got to hit pit road for his second and possibly the final stop of the night. We'll see how that works out for him. Adam Matz with the fastest lap last time around. 29:10, fastest lap for the driver sitting in 12th behind the wheel of that Ford F-150, the PRC. Grayson Jade Photography, number 9 of Adam Matz, quickest lap outside of the top 10. Championship hopes may be fading. Ethan Troutman continues to stretch this second green flag run. You can see Trent Potter, your pole sitter, just working his way around Troutman, getting himself back onto the race lead. And there it is. Potter's going to wave the white flag. He's going to come to pit road just a bit early, so it does indeed look like this is going to be a 3-stop race. What will the drivers do from here? Easy bank on about lap 75. If you can make it to 75, you can run it down those final 25 laps. That's what I'm looking at. If I am your race leader, Zach Mitchell, a 2.5 second advantage for the moment over Max Terriot. Skelton and Terriot went at it for a brief moment, but with not a whole lot to fight about. Skelton races him, but not overly aggressively. Drops back into that third position. We're going to head back through the field, sitting in fourth right here behind the wheel of that number 6. It's your defending series champion right here for Checkered Flag Auto Supplies Red Light Racing Monday Night Scrambler Series. Your defending series champion, Chris Hammett, still got those playoff dreams and hopes alive, and he runs inside of your top 5. Trent Potter going to recover. 18, your pole sitter, back inside of the top 5 for the moment. Looking to move on as well. Trent Potter sits in 5th. Tim Combs doing everything he's got to from his standpoint. You take a look at Justin Gann. Just 15 points ahead of that cutoff line. That cutoff line began right here with Tim Combs. Running in the 6th position. If he can pick up another spot, maybe 2, that may be enough points to push that 17 through. With Joshua Buckley still stranded behind pit wall, who feverishly continuing to work on that 13 machine. His championship hopes done. Night not over, but the championship dream is done here at Darlington for Joshua Buckley. Pedler and Troutman still have a shot in the dark. Running 13th and 14th for the moment. These two championship hopefuls sitting all alone on the racetrack, and they have got to throw the kitchen sink at it here. Less than 40 laps remain. One pit stop looming out there somewhere. Will it be enough? Gaps through the field. Let's jump here to one of your closest battles on the racetrack. We're going to watch third and fourth place runners James Skelton, Chris Hammond mix things up. Third and fourth on the racetrack. Back into 1 and 2 here. Lap number 65 out of the 100 scheduled in tonight's Visit South Carolina 100. Maybe I'm a little biased too. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Yeah, it may be the state that I live in. I don't want to call it my home state because I'm a Carolina kid at heart, always will be, but South Carolina ain't my hometown. It ain't my home state. Love it here, it's just not my home state. North Carolina, that's where it's at. Anyways, a lot of beautiful spots, a lot of beautiful cities here in South Carolina, from Charleston all the way to Clemson. You maybe not want to play for Clemson's football team, but visit the university. It's an amazing place. Columbia, Greenville, Spartanburg, Sumter. There's Florence. Right here, Darlington Raceway. Right here. Right by the coast, just a stone's throw away from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So a lot of great spots, a lot of beautiful places, a lot of great scenes, from ocean waves to waterfalls. We've got it all right here in sunny South Carolina. Beautiful all year round. Come on down, stay a while. Just saying. Anywho, back to the task at hand. Let's transition back here to a battle for the final spot inside of the top 10. For the moment, the Alienware sponsored number 64 machine of Jason Wells holds the position. The Flow Racing sponsored number 12 of Eric Stout. Eric's kind of been the where'd he come from, man? The night just. Every time we look over, he's picking up a position, getting back to where he started from. Qualified 8th, for the moment sits in 10th. We'll see if he can improve on that qualifying position by the end of tonight's race. Just 31 laps remaining here from Darlington. Quick race too, guys, man. These guys are not playing. Not playing around. Chris Hammond going to move himself into the final spot on the podium. About 5 laps ago, we'll look to the inside of the Flowertown Hospital number 86 machine of James Skelton. And again, not gonna fight the battle too hard for too long. Moving on in the championship battle already is James Skelton walking away with the podium here tonight. Will indeed move both Max Terriot and your defending series champion on to round number 2. Could be enough for Trent Potter. Jeffrey Souza right there on. Souza pretty close to that bubble line. Just about 1 point to the good to be exact. Running well inside of the top 10, sitting in the 7th position. That should be enough to move the stent analyzer. Souza Media, number 4 machine Along that playoff chase, he should be one of the 8 drivers that are going to continue to chase after the crown. Fuel window definitely open. We are under 30 laps to go here tonight in the Visit South Carolina 100, live from Darlington Raceway. So the fuel window opened. How bad do you want the undercut? Do you think one of these drivers, maybe Skelton Potter, possibly Tim Combs, tries to catch the field sleeping a little bit? Wilson Benedict gonna head to pit road from 13th and 14th. No real battles to speak of. We're going to head back with your race leader right here. Field in task, in hand, looking for yet another race winning performance here this season. Looking for win number 4. Little rough coming to pit road. Going to give up a little bit of time. Max Terrill going to stay out on the racetrack. Chris Hammond going to do the same. James Skelton going to pull his 86 to pit road. Trent Potter, Tim Combs follow suit. So there you have it. Just like clockwork. Told you, right around that 25 to go. You should see pit road a busy place, and there it is. About, what's that going to be? About 7-8 drivers on pit lane. Max Terrill doesn't want to give up as much as before. He's going to quickly head to pit road. Chris Hammett going to stay out on the racetrack. A long way back, over 15 and a half seconds back to the 62 of Ethan Troutman. Benedict getting one of his 2 laps back, now listed just 1 lap down here as we've got less than 25 to go. We've been clean and green all night long, race fans. That is a phenomenal job by every one of these drivers in the field. Just an absolute heck of a job. So as we get closer to the end of tonight's race, if you haven't already, be sure to show these drivers some love. Be sure to stop for a second and hit that thumbs up button. Let these guys know that you appreciate the great racing action, not just here tonight, but each and every night they hit the track with the Turn 3 Racing Network. Once again, you're watching some of the best in the business, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Red Light Racing Monday Night Scrambler Series. So again, before you go, make sure you show these guys some love and be sure to drop them that thumbs up. And quickly, under 20 to go, right around the corner. Green flag pit stops will determine the outcome of tonight's race. I do not see a caution flag flying here tonight. If you had asked me pre-race, I would have said we're going to get at least 2 to 3 cautions. Kind of typical of Darlington, and not of any drivers doing, but Darlington just a very, very tough track. That's why they call it the track too tough to tame. You will walk away a little battered, a little bruised, but tonight these drivers keeping it super clean. Amazed we do not see more than a handful of these trucks with the infamous Darlington stripe. Big move to the bottom. Trent Potter going to put himself back onto the lead lap. That will put 5 drivers back onto the lead lap. We're going to go ahead and drop that time in scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find your championship driver and follow along to the end of tonight's race right here from Darlington. Drivers quickly going to work to the outside and put themselves back onto the lead lap. There you see John McMillan Jr. He's going to have to go to the bottom. Catfish Billy style here from Darlington in 1 and 2. Bit of a wiggle out of McMillan. The rear of that truck got a little unhappy. I tell you what, we might actually have a battle of brewing. Let's head back here for what should be the battle for the eventual race lead. 18 laps to go. Max Terrill definitely closed the gap on this round of green flag pit stops. Pit crews pretty similar. 14.38 stop for Mitchell, 14.55 for Terrill's crew. So just about a 0.2 of a second advantage from the pit crew for Mitchell, and that, I mean, there's your difference on the racetrack, 0.26. So there it is right there. Pit crew a little better for that 8 machine. They did their job. Will he be able to do his and bring this thing home and keep Terrill out of victory lane? They still got a long way to go to get to first place. Let's not forget about your actual race leader for the time being across the line with 15 to go. Biggest question right now is, does this 62 have the fuel to make it to the end? 14-second gap. He's got time to give. I'm telling you, if he makes this thing, that'll be 42 laps. 42 laps on a tank of fuel. If Troutman can pull this off, he will win his way in, and that will definitely. There it is. We're going to end that story right there. Cinderella's story going out the window. There'll be no glass slippers here tonight. And Ethan Troutman gives up the race lead. He's going to head to pit road. There you can see the battle for the race lead across the line with 13 to go. Zach Mitchell leading Max Terrill into 1 and 2. Man, I give props to Troutman, man. He was trying. He knew the position he was in, had to throw the kitchen sink at it. He was doing what he had to. Didn't pan out, didn't pay off for him. We'll see if he can keep himself on the lead lap. That's going to be another crucial thing for him. Should we get a late race caution to reset the field, to re-rack him, he'll have the opportunity to try to pass some cars quickly for the time being, now sitting in the 14th position. But he does have the freshest tires in the field. Oh, right there goes 1 lap down. That's going to be the nail in the coffin right there for Ethan Troutman. Well, he'll get the lucky dog should we have a caution. So fingers crossed for the fans of that 62. The 27 of Logan Feeder in a similar situation needs a caution to try to find a way to race his way into round number 2. We're going to stay right here with your race leader, stretching his legs just a little bit as we close in on just 10 to go. jumping around a little bit, trying to see if we can't find you some battles and find you some action out there on the track. Looks like things starting to open up a little bit at the front of the field for the moment. Zach Mitchell has Max tear out right where he needs him, over a half a second back, battling with that 62 of Ethan Troutman. Blame Troutman, you gotta go get what you can get. Trying to work his way back on to the lead lap. James Skelton gonna cross the line, sitting in third. Chris Hammond not too far off, just about a second separate these two drivers. Could we have a battle for the final spot on the podium in the final few laps here at Darlington? And there it is. He's going to open it up over a 1 second advantage now for Zach Mitchell at the front. He's just got, what's it going to be? About, we'll call it 7.5 miles to go. Here tonight in the Visit South Carolina 100. The Rich D PC F-150. Getting the job done. Doing what is necessary here tonight under the lights. In beautiful South Carolina, back into 1 and 2 they roll. And this race win, it's going to go all the way back tonight on the decision of the crew chief on top of the box of that number 8 machine to head and call his driver to pit lane 2 laps earlier than anybody else. And that is what got him the race lead. That is what gave him that leapfrog, and he hasn't looked back since. Zach Mitchell doing exactly what needs to be done here tonight from Darlington. Looks like he will win his way into the next round of the playoffs here in season number 20. Zach Mitchell 1.5 second advantage now as this battle, the battle for the final spot on the podium, picks up. James Skelton, Chris Hammond working their way back down into turn number 1. Let's jump on board for a little ride with your defending series champion. Chris Hammond gonna chase him back across the stripe. Popsicle sticks on display for your race leader this time by just 2 laps to go. Here from Darlington to RaceWay, you can really hear Chris Hammond working the throttle. You can see him working the wheel, closing in on that rear deck lid of James Skelton. Right there, will it be enough? Will he be able to get the pass done if he gets there? Tight little battle for 3rd and 4th at a 4-4. The final time across the stripe, white flag flies. It's the Feeney call. 1 to go. Here from Darlington Raceway, less than a mile for this 8 machine, and he will walk away with the race win into turn 3 for the final time. The Rich GPC Fanatec number 8 machine will cross the line and head to a victory lane, moving on with yet another race win. Zach Mitchell with an amazing job here tonight, led the most laps in tonight's Visit South Carolina 100, brought to you by Red Light Racing and Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Zach Mitchell going to give the fans in the stands a little bit of a smoke show. Well, so while he gets to enjoy a little post-race celebration, we're going to get things ready to go for the Shiny Things podcast post-race show. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. In back trackside, as promised for the Shiny Things podcast post-race show, we're going to dive right into things here tonight. We're going to see if we can grab a word or two with the driver that walked away with the final spot on the podium here tonight. We're going to see if we can't talk to Django.
Yes, sir.
There he is right there. Chris Hammett, man, back on the podium. Once again, you're going to continue your championship hopes. How was the car? Long race, green flag, nonstop. Man, how was the car? Truck.
Yeah. It was the truck, and it was Darlington. You kind of know what to
Enough
expect.
said. Moving on.
Yeah,
No,
I mean it's the truck. It's tight. It doesn't have a lot of power, and if you break your momentum, it seems like it took you like a lap to get it back. And then it's Darlington. It's running real close to the wall, and trying not to smack it at all and not hurt the thing too bad. So just a matter of trying to keep it clean and keep it towards the front. So we accomplish all those goals tonight. Moving on to round eight, round of eight, second round, whatever you want to call it. So all in all, can't complain too much.
Yeah, the king continues to chase the crown once again. Do you think it might affect any of your championship? I don't want to call them rivals, but fellow drivers, your competitors. At the end of the day, knowing that you're still in the mix and you're the one that kind of just you hung around until it was time to strike last year. Do you think it may make them a little bit uneasy at all?
I like the way you think, Dave. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
He said, "Have you seen me drive this year? What is wrong with you?"
That sounds like a great plan.
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
I like it.
Beautiful.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely less pressure, I guess. Having won two of them before. But it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. One bad race and you're basically out. With just the 2 race rounds. And everybody getting reset to even, at the start of each round. So, it's all about, kind of taking it one race at a time. Survive in advance, baby. That's all we can do. Made it out of the first round with 2 top 10s. I mean, then the job gets a little harder. I'm pretty sure, you got to finish in the top 5 both races next week, which is no easy task whatsoever. And then when you get to Homestead, you're probably looking at having to win the race. So, like I said, survive in advance, 1 week at a time. We'll roll off to, I think we're going to IRP next week, which would be an interesting race there in the Busch car. So, we'll roll on to IRP and we'll see how that race goes, and that should let us know kind of what we got to do for Kansas. And we'll go from there.
Well, man, a hell of a way to start off the playoffs. You, as I already said, the king is still around, so they better, stay on their toes. Cause I got a sneaky suspicion we're gonna see you in Homestead as one of those top 4, but we're gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna push anybody's buttons or ruffle feathers.
I would never do that, Dave. I would never.
So, with all that being said, man, hell of a night right here from Darlington. Track 2 Tough to Tame. Before we let you go, shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
Yeah, obviously I got to thank my awesome wife, Ashley, for letting me come back here and do this. And then when I get into playoff mode, I'm back here way more often than what I normally am. So thank you, baby. I love you. Shout out to all the guys at 4X Racing, Zach, Sean, and Ryan. Congrats to Zach on his big win tonight, and both of us moving on to the next round. I've said I really don't care which one of us wins this championship as long as it's me or him. So that's our goal, is to make sure at least one of us is standing tall at the end of this thing. Shout out to the admins, my best friend James, Josh, and Ethan. They do a fantastic job every week. Shout out to you, Dave, the Higgins family, Checker Flag Auto Supply, Django, Maseratis, Hamburger Lounge, the championship train is still rolling on. I missed out on one trophy there a couple weeks ago, and I really don't want to miss out on this one. So I got some motivation. I'm still looking forward. So yeah, we're all eyes on IRP. See if we can go pick up another win next week, and I'll see you in Homestead.
Well, back short track racing. We'll see how you go. Until then, my man, stay safe and keep it fast.
Have a good one, Dave.
All right, there you go. Final few words for the man that walks away with the final spot on the podium here tonight. Chris Hammond continues his championship run, and that's going to move us right along. We're going to jump down right into victory lane. Let's finish out the post-race show with your race winner behind the wheel of that Rich DPC number 8, man. Heck of a job, Zach, back in victory lane.
Yeah, we finally got it done. It only took 9 top 5s or 8 or something like that to get a win. So
I mean, do you want me to pull the stat? I will do it to you. Actually, I believe top 5. That's going to be your 8th top 10, and I believe your 6th top 5. 4th win. It's crazy.
I haven't won 4 times though.
No, is it? Am I?
I think that might be max.
That might be. I might have had the wrong one memorized. My fault, buddy.
All good. Either way, it's a win. We're moving on to the next round. We're good.
That's terrible of me, though. But anyways, we're going to get that pulled up while we talk, man. You made your way into the playoffs. You came in a fairly safe position here tonight. Did you feel any pressure that it was a must-win for you, or did you feel that if you just brought it home to a good finish, that things would just work out?
Yeah, me and my teammate Chris were tied on the cut line, and we just wanted to keep it clean. And if we could run top 8, I think we would have been fine. And it all worked out. We were quick. I didn't know how the long runs were going to go. Max was really fast last night, but it just kind of worked out. I short pitted everything just to get the track position, and just kind of saved the tires there at the end and held them off.
Well, things going to reset as we go into the next round number 2, the round of 8. Two fairly different racetracks in round number 2. How you like your chances at IRP next week, and how you feel about Kansas?
IRP is going to be probably, hopefully not a caution fest, but I know we've been there once, and it was a caution fest. Kansas is an okay track. I think if I can just run clean and maybe snag a couple podiums, we'll move on to Homestead. But one race at a time.
Well, one race at a time, and tonight that one race was behind you pretty much all night. Actually, you know what? Before we get into things, what made you come down to pit road 2 laps before the rest of the field? Was it a prearranged strategy, or was it one on the fly?
Yeah, me and Chris and Sean, my teammates, we had talked about just kind of splitting it even or running it empty. Max normally likes to run it empty, and I knew the undercut with the tires would have been a big advantage. So there wasn't really too much behind it, but I knew that the only way to beat Max is to do something different than he does. So I said just split it even, and I got in front, and I just kind of sit like I said the last run. I was just kind of letting him catch me and saving the tires and letting him use it up, and it worked how I thought it was gonna, and I was able to kind of pull away there at the end.
Well, you got the job done. You were almost dead on your stats, by the way. This is going to be your 10th top 10 and your 9th top 5. So a model of consistency. This is your first race win. Had you a little mixed up with the 18. My fault. One number in front of it. My fault. Yeah, anyways. Nonetheless, it's been a great season for you. Do you think the consistency will work out for you on these next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I hope so. Short track racing isn't like my favorite thing to do. It is more of a driver's track, though. It's not like a run to the bottom. It's you have to run the wall at the IRP. So it's a little bit more of a driver's track. So hopefully that'll be a little bit fun. But it just need to get a couple good finishes for sure.
Well, again, man, congratulations on your win here tonight. Congratulations on moving on in this championship run. Before we let you go, final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous.
Yeah, as you said at the top, Rich DPC for building my computer, and even got my teammate Chris, who finished there tonight. He got one too. If you ever need a PC, he's your man. Thanks to Turn 3, you guys, Dave, for putting the broadcast on for us, and thanks for the admins at Red Light for putting on a great series for us.
Well, again, congratulations here tonight. We look forward to catching up with you next week, but until then, my friend, stay safe. Keep it fast. All right, there you have it. Man that walks away with his first win of the season, Zach Mitchell. Man, he's been in the top 5 so much we thought he has won. I don't know how I messed up those stats, but nonetheless, he's got a check mark in the winners column. Now, Zach Mitchell walks away with the race win here from Darlington Raceway, and he will move on in the championship rounds. That's going to do it for us here from Darlington Raceway. We're going to get ready to start to make our way up to IRP, get things set up, get things going up there for next week's championship race. quick one here tonight from Darlington. Producers hitting the buttons, you know the sounds, you know it's time to run down the unofficial race results for the Visit South Carolina 100, brought to you by Red Light Racing and Checkered Flag Auto Supply. It's the Monday Night Scrambler Series. Zach Mitchell going to top the charts and take the checkered flag. Max Terrell going to finish in second, with Chris Hammond finishing out your podium. Last week's race winner. Moving on, it is championship title hopes. James Skelton finishes in fourth, with Trent Potter in fifth, sliding home in sixth. Will it be enough for the 17 of Tim Combs? Jeffrey Souza doing what he's got to do. Was it enough? We'll see if seventh will put Souza in the championship. Eighth place tonight belongs to John McMillan Jr. with Eric Stout back in ninth. And number 9 truck of Adamats will finish out your top 10 with Jason Wells in 11th. Bill Benedict behind the wheel of that Lego Technic number 90 machine finishes 12th tonight. Championship hopeful falls a little bit short. Ethan Troutman will head home in 13th. The rookie Logan Fiedler's championship run comes to a close as well. Walks away 14th here tonight. Luke Allen back in 15th. 16th place belongs to Tony Strano with Rob Higgins back in 17th. 18th tonight to Sean Single. Rest of the field, right there, Joshua Buckley, Ken Allen, and Bob Higgins finish out the 21 truck field for tonight's Visit South Carolina 100, right here from Darlington Raceway, the track to top to tame. What a race! What a night! Big shout out to PremierRacingSetup.com, the longest running and standing setup shop for iRacing.com. If you're looking for the edge, if you're looking for just a little bit of coaching, or maybe you just need a fast ride, look no further than PremierRacingSetups.com. Huge shout out for a long-standing partnership with Checkered Flag Auto Supply and Red Light Racing. Everybody that gets everything done back behind the scenes, just phenomenal run and phenomenal job. We're going to come to a close here tonight, but before we go, if you haven't already, show these drivers some love and drop a thumbs up. Join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Smash the bell. You know the deal. Until then, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and we'll meet you in turn 3.